So, you know, when you talk to somebody that maybe doesn't watch the NBA anymore, or maybe it's your dad or grandpa, and it's like, you know what, the NBA isn't what it used to be. Tell them to watch this Pistons Magic series because it does feel like a game between, or at least a series from teams in the early 2000s or the 90s. And we just saw the #1 seed Detroit Pistons, who won 60 games in the regular season, go down 3-1 to the 8-seeded Orlando Magic, the same Magic team that 2 weeks ago we thought their season was over. They got embarrassed by the 76ers in the play-in game. Paolo was not playing well. They just lost to the G League Celtics in Game 82, and it felt like whenever their season was over, Jamal Mosley was going to get fired. Then they beat the Hornets. They take Game 1 against Detroit. They didn't look good in Game number 2. They win a close Game 3 and a close Game 4, and now the Orlando Magic are 1 game away from pulling off, I think, the 8-1 upset in a playoff series since 2000. It was like the 99 Knicks did it, and then you had the 07 Warriors. You had, I think it was the 12 or 13 76ers over the Bulls. You had the 23 Miami Heat, and I believe the 2011 Grizzlies did it as well. And there's a real chance this happens because this team ended up winning by 6 on Monday night. The Magic shot 33% from the field and 26% from 3, and they were still able to win this game. That's how bad Detroit was offensively. They had 20 turnovers in this game, and hey, I'm going to give Cade a lot of credit. Like, he has such an insane offensive workload right now because nobody else can really create their own shot, and he's paid, and he's the guy they're building around, but he's had too many games with 6+ turnovers in a row. He had 8 turnovers, and this was a problem with Cade this year, but it wasn't as much on display as it was in previous years because that was a big thing with Cade, like at the start of last year as well. The turnovers, and sometimes he's forcing way too much. Sometimes a pass isn't on target. Sometimes he's just getting stripped. Sometimes he's not fighting over a screen, maybe as properly as he should. The handle isn't as tight as it should be, and it's going to cost Detroit a ton of possessions. Like, I remember the game was like 17-9 at one point, and Orlando took like 4 or 5 shots, and it was just like they were getting such easy looks based off turnovers, and Detroit was just like not knocking down a single thing. I mean, they didn't shoot well in this game either. They shot 38% from the field and 20% from 3, and a big talking point from this game and from this series has been Jalen Duren, because Jalen Duren was an all-star this year. He was on his way to getting that Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham type rookie max extension this year. And if Cade and Luka did not make an All-NBA team, there was a really good chance that Duren was going to make All-NBA third team. Therefore, he would have been making even more on his rookie max extension. And it does feel like over the last few weeks, Duren has lost a lot of money. Now, I still think he's going to get paid a lot of money. I mean, the guy's still going to make $20+ million on this next contract, no matter what. Like, he's getting life-changing money regardless. It just might not being like complete FU money when he was already going to get FU money. So we'll see how much this actually costs him, because he is still vital to what Detroit is building. And this is just a bad series. And maybe this is JB Bickerstaff and on him and the offensive coordinator, creative offensive game flow around Duren, but he's really struggling to have any type of wiggle room down low. He's not being effective at all defensively. I feel like there's been some really dumb fouls, including some really dumb moving screens, and I thought they were way better with Isaiah Stewart out there. And I think it was last game where B-Ball Paul was out there and looked a little bit better than what we saw from Jalen Duren, who's supposed to be their max guy. I mean, Tobias Harris, he's been fine in this series. He's been a little bit inconsistent offensively. I don't think you can really look at Tobias Harris as an issue. They're probably asking him to be the number 2 shot creator, which should not be the case. That was my big concern with Detroit going into the playoffs, that I thought they were going to lose in round number 2 to Cleveland in my playoff prediction. It's because I don't trust this team's offensive game flow around Cade Cunningham. I don't trust the second, third option, because I don't want to see Karis LeVert out there. I don't really trust Asar Thompson offensively. I don't trust Duncan Robinson offensively. I don't trust Tobias Harris and maybe the level they were going to need him to be, or even Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren really wasn't that good against the Knicks last year in round number 1, and he really hasn't he hasn't turned it around. And yeah, somebody like Jaden Ivey would have probably been a difference maker in this series. Jaden Ivey before that injury in 2025. So now Detroit is down 3-1. Luckily for them, Game 5 is in Detroit, but you got to win 3 in a row. I mean, Game 5 is I believe in them to win Game 5. Game 6 is the tough one, because if you can win Game 6, hey, Game 7 back at home, anything can happen. I mean, Dennis Jenkins has also not really shut the ball well in this series. He was asked to be a top scoring option on this team, which is a lot for like an undrafted guy who was on a two-way and got like a huge standard contract off the two-way that was converted. I didn't really agree with it. I know there was maybe less options than we thought there would be on the trade market. Like Michael Porter Jr. was maybe one that could have been realistic, but were they ever going to trade for Tyler Hero in season? Probably not. They probably should in the offseason. Were they going to trade for Kawhi Leonard? Probably not. Trey Murphy was probably not available. This team desperately needs a number 2 shot creator, and I think they will get one in the offseason, and they definitely will get one if they end up losing this series in 5 or 6 games. That Jamal Cain poster on Jalen Duren was rough. Poor Jalen Duren, man, because everybody's talking about his contract extension, and his ex, Angel Reese, just keeps posting like his lowlights on Instagram, and I believe she's dating Wendell Carter Jr. I just found this out that she dated Jalen Duren. I didn't know about this till this series. And then now she's dating Wendell Carter Jr. It stinks too for Orlando because Franz Wagner gets hurt in this game. He's going to have an MRI. Jamal Cain definitely stepped up in his absence. Desmond Bane played well. It's funny too because like I said at the beginning of this, Orlando did not shoot the ball well. They shot 33% from the field and 26% from 3, and they still won this game. That's how bad Detroit was offensively. Jalen Suggs, 1 of 13 from 3 and 1 of 11 from 3. Paolo Banchero has not been good as of late after getting off to a good start in the series. 4 of 18 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. It was like 2 number 1 overall picks, Cade and Paolo, going at it, and nobody could score whatsoever. I mean, Franz Wagner was fine before the leg injury. It sucks that it ended up happening. Like Anthony Black has really also struggled to get any momentum, it feels like, in this playoff series since he recovered or returned from his injury at the end of the regular season. Cade goes 7 of 23 from the field, 3 of 11 from 3. I don't think they're going to bench Jalen Duren. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they got to play Kevin Huerter more, hope he could give them some spark plug minutes. Like Ron Holland, a DNP in this game. Ron Holland, like he was the 5th overall pick in the 2024 draft, and they just don't trust what he can provide offensively right now. Yeah, we're at DEFCON 5 or 1 or whatever the most serious DEFCON is for Detroit, because there's that stat that, right, if you win your 40th game before you lose your 20th game, that's where the finals team comes from. The only team that needs to do that this year was the Detroit Pistons. Like they've been the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference basically all year long since like November, it feels like, and they're about to get embarrassed here. And I don't know if that's going to come down on JB Bickerstaff a lot. I think it should come down on Trent Langdon and the front office just a little bit because they weren't that aggressive at adding like a number 2 offensively in the playoffs. Like they weren't going to get James Harden. Maybe they were, you never know. But this team, I don't know what other number 2 they could have gotten. Like, yeah, maybe Hero, Porter Jr., Murphy, one of those guys could have gotten traded, but like Zubats isn't a number 2 and they were going to add a player of that caliber. Maybe Anthony Davis, but I don't think they were going to realistically trade for AD, even though we mocked that a ton. Maybe this team calls for one of the guys I talked about. Maybe they call for Kyrie Irving or somebody like that in the offseason. But yeah, their offense is really tough to watch. Pistons fans, I would love to know what you guys think about this team right now, because it does feel like your season is all but over. And before we get back into today's video, I want to give a word from today's sponsor, Fanatics Live. And if you want to stay in that NBA action, that NFL feel with the offseason, you got to check out Fanatics Live. And you can take a look at football breaks, basketball breaks. It's a 24/7 live streaming app. And you're not just buying a box, you're buying a spot in a live break. Here's how it works. You join a stream, you bid on a spot, and then the host spins a wheel to randomize which team you get. You can also pick the team you want to buy, and when they rip the box live on camera, you get every single card from that team that you picked shipped straight to your door. It's the ultimate way to hunt for those massive hits and those rare rookie cards without having to buy the entire case by yourself. And right now is the perfect time to jump in it, because they're running a great promotion right now where you spend $10, you get $10 back in FANCASH. To all new users on Fanatics Live, the link is going to be in the description. And thank you again to Fanatics Live for sponsoring today's video. And then I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns Oklahoma City Thunder. I feel like I haven't talked about this series too much on the channel or any of my reaction videos, just because it's been very one-sided. It was the only sweep from round one, yeah, as OKC officially sweeps Phoenix. I mean, hats off to Phoenix this year. What they did with their low expectations, it was really impressive. I thought this team was going to finish at the bottom of the Western Conference. They win 45 games. I literally said in all my preseason prediction videos, like, if Devin Booker misses time, this is going to be one of the worst offenses in the league, and I was wrong. I did not factor in what Dylan Brooks does and how much of a floor raiser he can really be. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or I guess I won't go to the Thunder, because Shai was incredible in this game. And I know, like, there's been a lot of talk about the free throws. I mean, it was the game 2 was kind of ugly. Like, I never said that OKC's terrible with the foul baiting and stuff. Cause like my team, like I'm a Knicks fan, they get calls, they don't get calls. But when Chet did that like 20-foot jumper and he does the thing where you pump fake and then you get the defender in the air and you throw your body in, and he did it on Colin Gillespie, who's a foot smaller than him. I said, all right, that's like, this is not good for the sport. But Shea was incredible in game 4. He's been incredible pretty much in this series outside. I think it was game 1 where he struggled a little bit with his efficiency. I mean, it's funny, like Voudor at one point in this game, AJ Mitchell was so good. 22 points from AJ Mitchell. Like a healthy AJ Mitchell probably would have won 6 Man of the Year this season. If you're looking for that next James Harden, Jalen Brunson, Isaiah Thomas, Denny Avdia, that like he could be your number 1 option offensively, that is kind of not hidden on a team right now, but like if he can get that number 1 workload, he can actually be like a fringe all-star or an all-star. It's AJ Mitchell. Like I don't care that he was older. So is Jalen Brunson coming out of school. AJ Mitchell he's got the size. Like he's not a small 6'4". Like he's 6'4", almost 200 pounds. He's strong enough to finish around the rim. He can create separation. He's got a great ball handle. The 3-point shot, I believe, is good right now, and it will get better over time. Like he's a true stud. I mean, Chet Holmgren was also amazing in this game on the boards, creating separation, knocked down a few threes. It's nice to see Hardenstein like fully out there too. Like he's ramped up for the playoffs now after being in and out of the lineup throughout the regular season. He was great against Phoenix. They really overmatched their bigs, and like Caruso will just come in, get a steal and run the whole floor and get a transition dunk and like change some momentum just like that. It was a weird series for Devin Booker because I feel like Devin Booker did struggle as a number 1. And I did tweet that out, and some people were like, Matt, Dillon Brooks is the number 1. I'm like, that's also the problem. Like I know Dillon Brooks has had some of the number 1 workload in this series, but that shouldn't happen. You're paying Devin Booker $60, almost $70 million a year on this contract. I need him to step up as a true number 1 guy. Now, I think it was game 3 where Dort tripped him, or inadvertent or not, and he hurt his ankle. So maybe he was banged up because he was very passive in the first half. Tonight, he was really good in the third quarter and then didn't really do a lot in the fourth quarter. He finished with 6 turnovers for Devin Booker, 24 points, 8 of 16 from the field. I wonder what Phoenix is going to do this offseason because like Dillon Brooks is extension eligible. I'm going to assume they give him at least what PJ Washington got. It was like 4 for 94. Probably will get more than that. Jalen Green had like a 48% true shooting percentage in this playoff series. He struggled last year in round number 1 against Golden State. It's crazy watching Jalen Green and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, like these guys that want to be the number 1 options, and they are just completely different players. I'm not a big fan of Jalen Green's shot selection because for every good game, you're going to get 6 bad games. And he shot 1 of 10 from 3, 10 of 25 from the field. I mean, he could score. Will it be efficient? Most likely not. I mean, I know Suns fans are going to probably want to trade him this offseason. My question is like, who are you trading him to? Because I think the rest of the league knows his value. Now he's got 2 years remaining because he most likely will pick up that player option. I think his archetype too, he definitely benefits from like the high school status, the number 2 overall pick. And he was good, he's been good in the month of March and was obviously the number 1 scorer on a 2 seed last year. I don't think his next contract is going to be great unless his game and the foundational parts of his game change drastically next year and he improves as a defender, he improves as a passer. I will also give him some leeway because this year he had so many hamstring injuries, so maybe that was just kind of in play. But I assume Phoenix does not like the idea of Booker and Green together. They could definitely use another big. I would have actually liked to see Anthony Davis on this team. Maybe they could pull that off, but I don't know if Washington would want Jalen Green. Like Jalen Green for Zion Williamson, I don't see why New Orleans would do that. I don't see a good team trading for Jalen Green unless you have like a terrible contract. Unless you sign somebody to like 5 years, $300 million or whatever, and you're doing Jalen Green for that, and we're like, all right, we can get you off that a year early because Phoenix does not own a direct first-round pick till 2032. Like they're not tearing it down, and I don't think Matt Ishbia ever wants to tank, and I think they owe it to Devin Booker to try to build a competitive roster. So they're going to have to get creative with who would take on a Jalen Green contract. Maybe Brooklyn, they strike out on some guys, and they don't own their first rounder next year. The options are very limited. I don't think you could probably convince Miami to trade for Jalen Green. Maybe Milwaukee would be desperate, and you can get like Miles. I don't know. You would really have to get creative. We'll see what they end up doing in the offseason. But Phoenix definitely overachieved this year. They also got to re-sign Colin Gillespie. They can maybe get overbid or they can get outbid for him because they're also paying $25 million or $22 million a year for Bradley Beal, who's not even on the roster. But I hope to see more come on my watch by next year and Rasheer Fleming. We didn't see them a ton in this series. And unfortunately, Mark Williams was hurt in the series, who's also a restricted free agent at the end of the year. So OKC, since basically they made the playoffs with this new core, Like in 2020, they lost, I believe, game 1 to Houston in the bubble. But since they've been like this dominant team in 24, 25, 26, I believe, because I think they were a 2023 playing team, they haven't lost a game in round number 1, because this year they swept Phoenix. Last year they swept Memphis. A couple years ago, they swept New Orleans. So they are truly a dominant team in round number 1. And I'm very excited to see how they match up against the Lakers or the Rockets. Probably going to be the Lakers, unless the Lakers actually do blow a 3-0 lead. Highly doubt that happens, but it should be a fun and probably a little bit more of a competitive round 2 series for OKC. And then I'm currently recording this while Denver is going up against Minnesota. They're up by 22 right now in the 4th quarter. I'm going to assume Denver pulls this one off. You'd probably see some other video if that weren't, or if that somehow doesn't happen. I mean, it was kind of close in the first half a little bit, or in the like first quarter or so. And I'm like, you know what? No Ant, no Dante. If McDaniels doesn't get a foul trouble early in the game, maybe something else happens. This would have been like the worst loss in Nuggets history if they lost tonight. I don't know. This is a weird series right now because Denver's down 3-1. They disappoint, like they win game 1 and then they lose 3 in a row. I think I just like spazzed out because Ayo Dosunmu had that insane game number 4 where he looked like prime Steph Curry out there. You lose Ant 18 minutes in, you lose Dante DiVincenzo 1 minute in, and Dosunmu has the game of his life. Yeah, it was like rock bottom for the Nuggets. That was on Saturday, right? So yeah, Ant is most likely, he's done for the series. I think he was out 2 to 3 weeks. Like, thank God it wasn't anything more serious. There was no ACL tear or anything like that. People were speculating that could have been an outcome on Twitter. Obviously, Dante DiVincenzo tears his Achilles, which freaking sucks. Like, he's one of my favorite players to watch in this league. If you follow my content, you know I loved him on the Knicks, and I was gut punched when they traded him to Minnesota in that 2024 offseason. Kind of sucks, too, because he might miss out on some money. Like, this is a long recovery. I mean, it's at least a year. He was extension eligible this offseason. Like, he could have gotten a nice payday from the Minnesota Timberwolves because, to be honest with you, he's more impactful than Julius Randle. Like, he's the 4th most impactful player on this team. I think he's more impactful than Naz Reid, and both those guys got $25, $30 million. So I don't think he was getting that much, but I think they definitely needed to re-sign him at one point. And how does this team look without Anthony Edwards? Because I know Aaron Gordon has been hurt. We'll see if he plays game 5. We'll see if Peyton Watson comes back in this series. Denver, I think they were like slightly favorites to win, or underdogs to win this series when it was 3-1. I'm going to assume after tonight and how much of a convincing victory it was, they become the favorites to win this series. It just sucks that like Anthony Edwards is hurt and he might be banged up in round number 2 as well. We'll see. I mean, Denver had its issues. This is probably a good confidence booster win for them because they definitely needed to see something good happen. Like Cam Johnson played well tonight. Spencer Jones, it's going to have a cool LinkedIn post after this game as well. I felt like everybody wanted to fight Jaden McDaniels. Like, I'm literally watching Jonas Valanciunas go at him right now, and Randall's looking. He's like, again. Christian Brown had a dunk. He pointed at McDaniels. Naz Reid, I don't think he's come back into the game, but he hurt his ankle at midcourt, and it just feels like everybody has just been getting hurt on Minnesota. I don't know what curse happened with them. So yeah, game 6 is the one they need to win because I don't think you want to go to game 7 with no DiVincenzo, no Ant. Who knows? Maybe no, Naz is on the court, so he's fine. So yeah, no, Naz is back, which is good. But yeah, game 6 is the one Minnesota needs to win because I don't like their chances game 7 on the road. And I think they could win. I think there is a chance they could win game 6, or they can even win game 7. It was close in the first half. They just need McDaniels to knock it into foul trouble, and they need Randall to kind of show up. Like, they need Randall to look like a potential number 1, or at least as good of a 2A that you can get out there, because they're not going to have Anthony Edwards, somebody they can rely on. So let me know who you guys think is going to win that series as well. Like, do you think Detroit's done? Like, that's my main question for you guys in the comments. Do you think Detroit is done? Let me know maybe what do you think Phoenix is going to do in the offseason, and definitely let me know what you guys think about Minnesota's chances, Denver's chances to win this series. Let me know in the comments below. Drop a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.